Okay. Dan who? Dan double you. Let's go. Ow, wow, listen right now. Everybody knows the man that says pow. Start the show, gonna talk some toys. This is for the grown-up girls and boys making noise. Let's start the show. Talking Marvel Legends and the money that we blow. Honestly, look, there ain't no stopping me. Turtles and Joes too, let's do this properly. Need to buy more toys, don't tell my bank. Wasn't me, promise it was Hellfire Hank. Whole Who crew, like they made me do it. If it lands at my door, then I best review it. Screw it, I don't usually boast, but I got Rich M, he's here to host. Raise a toast and raise some dogs. This isn't your average show, we're deluxe. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And hello, how are we doing this Thursday evening? We are back, like always, to talk some toys. And today's clickbait title is movie figures, all right? So we don't have any leak lists or anything like that. If anyone's joining us just to check out some leak lists, we're not rectangular, that's his gimmick. We're just having some fun, all right? We're gonna, with the only movie coming out this year being Deadpool, there are potential for a lot of stupid cameos across the multiverse. So we're just gonna dive in to all the different Marvel movies that have ever existed and see what would make good action figures and see if we think any of them would be fun cameos, okay? So we're just gonna break down the world of Marvel movies and of course talk some toys along the way. But you know, I can't do it on my own. I'd be an insane man talking to myself on the internet. It is, of course, my co-host, Rich M Displayed One. Rich,
woohoo!
How you doing?
I'm doing good. You okay?
I'm all good, my friend. Apart from the MCU, just a quick spoiler for the people. What is your favourite Marvel movie that's not in the MCU?
That's not in the MCU.
Yeah, I know everything technically is now via the multiverse, but you know what I mean. Just not Marvel Studios, if you or Sony.
Maybe Blade, the first Blade. I think the first Blade still holds up pretty well.
Me too. 1998. That predates X-Men. One of my favourites. Wesley Snipes is high potential for a cameo. I'd love to see that because Ryan Reynolds, actually, him and Ryan Reynolds don't get on. Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds,
they were in Blade 3, weren't they, together?
They didn't like. They didn't like each other, or basically, Ryan Reynolds would say that Wesley Snipes was in character the whole time or something, and he didn't like working with anyone. The Triple H has talked about it as well because Triple H is in that movie trying to become a megastar, and that flopped for him as well. But anyway, we can discuss Marvel movies, but let's say hello to the chat first and foremost. Hello, chat. But I wanted to first acknowledge people, right? Don't let me down live on YouTube right now. I've just Rich is like, some fucker's going to unsubscribe, and I guarantee you this starts ticking down now. See, I fucking knew it. Fucking knew it.
There he goes.
I don't know. I brought it on myself. I cannot be mad, right? Well, I'm hoping by the end of this stream I will stay over 25,000. But that's a pretty decent milestone to celebrate. You know me, like YouTube's a hobby. It's not my full-time job, so I like to celebrate these little milestones. Why not? These are meant to be positive things. So let's celebrate it in 25k. That is a quarter of the way to a plaque, Rich. I don't think I'm ever going to get to that plaque level reviewing Marvel Legends. I'd have to like do some other stuff.
How long has this took? 8 years to get
exactly,
there? Yeah. So you got another what? 24 years. 24 years time, Dad. You'll get that plaque. Come on.
Come on. By then, it's like everyone's on a different platform.
It's going down.
Look, I brought it on myself. Right? I brought it on myself. Look at them all. You fuckers. This is the hating lurkers, this is. All right. Never mind. I brought that on myself. Let me say hello to the chat. But anyway, it was nice being at 25k. For that little bit of time, anyway. Hopefully, I can make it there again one day.
One day, 1 year's time, maybe we'll get it again.
For fuck's sake! Oh, we're getting closer. It's
gone up.
We'll celebrate when it gets to 25k again. Amanda, get the champagne. Right, okay. Where's the chat? We got some early super chats, which I appreciate. Scrolling right to the top, Chadwick Myers. He says, "Mr. Dan." Mr. Dan's very formal. I like it. I've been dying for the next movie stream. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's a movie figure. As a movie figure collector, I'm especially hyped. I fill vendor machines all day and listen during my reviews. I like that, Chadwick. And Chadwick's jumped in again with a super chat. Thank you very much.
Chadwick Myers donated $10. Most MCU gaps could be solved with one single wave line. VILLIANS. There's room for deluxes. Abomination, MODOK. 2 packs, Malekith and Curse, Hammer and Whiplash, Caecilius and Ancient.
Okay, thank you very much. Shout out Octane, who's now subscribed. But Chadwick, again with a super chat, thank you so much. He says, most MCU gaps could be solved with one single wave or line. Villains. There's room for Deluxe's, Abomination and MODOK. Would we want the live action MODOK? The Hot Toys did it, didn't they, to be fair? And it doesn't look too bad. Malekith, of course. That Hammer and Whiplash, as Justin Hammer, we never got him. He's easily done in a suit or something. Apparently he's coming back in Armor Wars as well, so he's potential for the future. Caecilius and the Ancient One, 2 characters we were missing from the Doctor Strange movie. I completely agree with that. And then Army Builders, I'm sure he's talking about the Chitauri, so I always talk about them. And Ritual, there you go. He continued with another super chat. I appreciate that, Chadwick. Chitauri, Ultrons, Outriders, and a lot of these can be easily done with a little bit of reuse. Hammer, Caecilius. Please, Ryan, if you're lurking, remember all of these visions that walked so Thanos could run. Yeah, if the lurkers are lurking, I'm sure these are already down on some sort of list. But I do think I'm going to do like a top 10 most wanted MCU figures for the channel, money in the bank, regardless. And there's Chadwick's second part of the super chat.
Chadwick Myers donated $10.
Thank you.
Tauri, Ultrons, Outriders, and a lot of these can be easily done with a bit of reuse. Hammer, Killian, Caecilius. Please, Ryan, if you're lurking, remember all the villains that walked so Thanos could run.
Indeed. Thank you very much again, Chadwick. We appreciate that. Let me scroll back up, see what else I've missed. Dan Hayden upgraded his channel membership to the Who Crew Deluxe. Dan, I see you. I appreciate you. Hopefully you'll be joining us on the after show this evening. There's the Chadwick's super chats. I appreciate that, Chadwick. And I will absolutely do a top 10 most wanted MCU figures. I'm going to do that for the channel while I wait for some new figures to review. And then Hugo also has joined the Who Crew Deluxe again. So maybe we'll have some fresh faces on the after show this evening. So remember, let me get into the housekeeping now just while we're talking about it. Go check out all the long form content on the channel. Legend of Liquor is this weekend, people. That's right. We are back this weekend breaking down everybody's pickups. And I think I'm going to ask people this week what they're like, what they want to see in 2024. Like not things that I've up for pre-order, things that haven't been announced. Like pick a brand and then pick a couple of things that you would like to see from that brand. I think I'm going to play a game like that. I'll figure it out. But Legend of Liquor will be this Sunday. The date is the 28th. So if you would like to be a guest on Legend of Liquor this Sunday, the 28th of January, then please hit me up on Instagram straight after this live stream tonight. You can start filling up the gaps. I always try and make room for everybody. I accommodate many people as I can. Get involved with the show. Turtles and Tea and Legend and Joe's and Juice will be back this year. And I don't know if anyone noticed on the channel, Rich. Did you notice? I had a little bit of Joe's and Juice with a couple of people that know a little bit about some Joes. It was, of course. What's that?
I saw it.
It is. There it is. Emily and Lenny. I've been telling you Emily are coming onto the channel for months and no one believe me. There you go. Proof. Emily and Lenny both joined me for a little pre-Joe's and Juice. I taught them about Ribena. I thought the Joe community were going to slate me, by the way, because I spent time talking about Ribena. I spent time talking about canoes. People still don't understand the canoe is just it was a joke, but now I'm deadly serious. Now I'm campaigning for a canoe, all right? It's serious stuff now. But a little bit of Joe's and Juice to kick off the year. And it's the first time they've spoke to anyone this year regarding the Joe calendar. So the other Joe channels picked it up as well, which is all good. It's all good. None of them shared my video link, but still, it's fine. We allow it. Go and check that out for a little bit of Joe's and Juice to kick off the year. And then me, Tom and Mark will be back very soon to do like a sort of what we want to see. What's this year's HasLab going to be? I think it's going to be a boat, some sort of whale hovercrafty thing. We shall see. Still need to make room for that dragonfly this year, but I don't know. We shall see. Right. Anything over £4 or $4, Friday will read it out. As you know, Chadwick's already done it. She is working. Thank you very much, Chadwick. You know the score with that. Everything you contribute to the channel goes back into the channel. So if you want this channel to stick around and keep Amanda off my back, then Super Chats is the best way to do it. Or, of course, you can hit that join button, just like many of you do. You keep the channel alive. Much, much appreciated. A couple of people have upgraded their channel membership already tonight, so they can join us for the after show. There is a live show every single Thursday, straight after this one, for channel members only. Last week, we went through that leaked list in detail. So if that's the type of stuff we'll do on the after show, all right? So if you want to join that, up your channel membership to the Who Crew Deluxe, and you can be a guest every single Thursday. It's like a mini Legends and Liquor, if you will. Okay, I appreciate you sitting through that, Rich. It's a lot, but this could be someone's first show. I always explain this to people. The reason you go through the housekeeping at the start of every show is this is our 176th show, but this could be someone's first show. So you always have to have that mindset of like, this is someone's first show or could potentially be someone's first show. And you're just introducing them to the format and to the fun and the community aspect of the channel. All right. So I appreciate everyone sticking through that. We can now get into some toys. Rich, do you have any new toys to talk about this week?
I did. I got 2 new things this week.
Let's have a look.
So I got a brand new Iceman figure. But I can't remember him in this in the comics, but I have got an Iceman. There we go.
Justin got in the way there. Damn you, Justin.
Damn you,
Iceman.
Justin. He didn't want to see my Iceman.
So have you, I'm assuming you didn't just get Iceman in that line then, right?
Well, I got Fireman and Mega Man pre-ordered, but apparently they're not in stock yet. But I did get Iceman shipped out on his own. So I've got an Iceman. There we go.
Okay. So
that is my first of the Jada Mega Man figures. I think some people I've seen get Mega Man, but I haven't seen anyone got Fireman yet. So I'm guessing they ship in like maybe like the Street Fighter where like Fei Long and Reach turned up first, and then Chun was a bit later. So maybe it's the same as that. But yeah, I've got one, so that's good. He looks really nice.
Distribution is a weird thing for sure.
This one as well. Thanks,
nice.
Alexi. Alexi Club. So I've got a Muff X, Hush, Poison Ivy. There we go.
Very nice.
And the best one, Superboy's just gone up for pre-order as well, haven't he?
I thought of you when that one up.
Good.
I did think of you when that one up. I thought Rich would be happy with that one. Is that the last of like that sort of Superman lineup that they need to do?
I think they could do like the Supergirl, the Matrix Supergirl, I suppose, and they could do like the blue and red Superman, like when after he comes back. But yeah, I think that's because they've done Eradicator, they've done Cyborg Superman, they've done Steel. So I think that is kind of that lineup of like Death of Superman replacements done then.
Very nice. We got a couple of super chats while you were chatting there. And haha! I made it back to 25k. Yes, I made it back. Right, Justin says, congrats on 24,999. I'll be hitting 200 soon, thanks to all you fine people. Yes, please go and subscribe to Justin Collects, a branch of the Dan Who Network, absolutely. Same as everyone else. I'd encourage everyone to make YouTube channels just so they can feel the struggle, they can feel the pain, they find a new appreciation for the Dan Who Network when they start their own channels. But yes, please go and subscribe to Justin. And Justin, don't worry, my friend, I made it back there. I'm back to 5,000. Hooray! And Double A just upgraded their channel membership as well to Who Crew Deluxe. Thank you very much, Double A. That means you can join us for the after show every single week. And remember, at any point you upgrade your channel membership to the Who Crew Deluxe, that means you have multiple after shows to backtrack on. Fan of nonsense and toy talk, of course. Then go and check out the after shows. Right, Nonsense and Nostalgia was a show I was thinking about making one day. It's on my list. It's on my list with many other things. Right, so let's get into this then. So Rich sent me some graphics to sort of spur on the conversation today. So as we said, we are talking movie figures. The title of the video, the thumbnail says, I think it's movie figures or something, movie 2024. And the reason is because this year it's a little bit confusing. Usually there's about 4 MCU movies or projects that are coming out, so you can always sort of make a template of what figures to expect. But all the MCU movies, apart from Deadpool, has been moved or pushed to 2025 due to the writers' strikes that delayed things, and it's just, I'm sure there's various other reasons. But right now, the only thing from the MCU officially to come out in 2024 will be Deadpool, scheduled for July, I believe, Rich, if I'm wrong. Yeah. July. So obviously Deadpool, we know, is the Fox universe creeping its way into the MCU canon via the multiverse, I am sure. That is why we are seeing, I'm sure that's another reason that money in the bank. Oh, thank you very much, Mikey Moon Boots. Didn't even say anything. He just
Mikey Moon Boots donated £4.99.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mikey. Didn't even say anything. I just appreciate that. Thank you so much. So via the multiverse, Deadpool's going to come into the MCU, and that's the reason Hugh Jackman, I think, has agreed to come back. And
also money, probably, Dan.
Probably money. Probably money. Money's probably a big factor. You're not wrong. But let's pretend that he actually... No, I do genuinely think that Hugh Jackman was happy to end with Logan, but the way they're justifying it, it's like that story's its own thing. Like, this is a multiversal version of Logan now, of Wolverine. So
do you think they let him sing? I think they let him sing. I bet he has a song.
He's gonna sing.
He likes singing. That's what he does, doesn't he?
After the
likes a show tune.
After the singing went down so well in the Marvels, they're gonna let people start singing again in the MCU. So anyway, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, I think it's Sean Levy as well, who's just directed the last couple of... He directed the... What's it called? This guy? That guy? What's it called? The one where... New Guy. And he also directed that one on Netflix when he meets that kid from the... He goes back and visits him for South from the past or future. What's it called? Shit. Ryan Reynolds. It's on Netflix. It's a film where the future Ryan Reynolds travels back in time and sees himself as a kid and something or other. Someone in the chat will figure it out. But Sean Levy also directed that version. So this is technically the third Ryan Reynolds, Sean Levy sort of... So they're all best mates. They're all chums making movies. So hopefully that means it's a good MCU movie. And I'm assuming there are going to be a lot of cameos in it. The rumour mill has already started with all of... The Adam Project. Thank you. See, I knew I wasn't making this up. Have you not seen the Adam Project, Rich? Clearly not. Okay, well, now you know. Ryan Reynolds goes back in time.
Added to my list, right? Added to my Netflix list.
So, we're just going to break down all the different movies from other things, not MCU, okay? So we're going to go through... We will talk about MCU elements, of course we will, but let's go through some movie potential in Marvel Legends.
Yeah. So just to caveat this list before we start. So basically, like, Rectangular and David Displays have both leaked lists with Captain Marvel figures, not Captain Marvel, Captain America figures, and with Thunderbolts figures. Now, if you remember back to the Eternals, back to Shang-Chi, those figures are probably made in a warehouse in Mexico, currently gathering dust. Might see them on AliExpress soon, but they're going to get pushed to next year, and then they'll say, oh, we had extra time, and they'll have done nothing different. They would probably been tooled, everything made. They're probably there ready. I don't think they're going to change whatever was planned. So I'm guessing whatever was in those waves will just be rolled to next year. But obviously then you've got some big gaps as well, because it's not just the MCU movies, it's the TV shows as well. So again, the only TV show live action we've got coming out this year is going to be Agatha, and Echo just finished. Everything else has been pushed to like 2025 and beyond. So, and then there's animated shows like What If Season 3, and X-Men 97 is obviously going to debut this year. And there's a Spider-Man high school animated show as well, set before the Sony movies, I think. And of course, the Sony movies are still coming. The Sony movies, come on, Sony!
3 Sony movies, Madam Web.
Oh, they're spoiling us. They're spoiling us, aren't they? Thank God for Sony, innit? Thank God.
Madam Web, Deadpool, Venom 3, and also the highly anticipated Craven. With the MCU's Quicksilver reprising his role through the multiverse.
It's just abs. All that poster is just abs. There's like nothing else. Just his abs.
It's all Photoshop. Right. So let's just dive into some figures. Let's talk about it, shall we? Right. There's the chat. I appreciate you. Please do get involved with what you'd like to see as we're talking. But let's start off in the Fox world, shall we? So we have a plethora of X-Men movies. We've got X-Men 1, 2, and the X-Men 3, aka The Last Stand. Then we've got Wolverine Origins. We've got the Days of Future Past. We got X-Men Age of Apocalypse, and
First Class.
Yeah, First Class went
and everyone's favourite, Dark Phoenix.
And Dark Phoenix, there you go. So there's loads. There's actually fucking loads of X-Men movies. And the Days of Future Past sort of did tie them, the two timelines in together. So we did get some figures from the Fox Universe in Marvel Legends a couple of years ago. And some of them go for a pretty penny on the aftermarket, especially those Wolverines, to be fair. I've put mine now top shelf because technically they're all multiverse within the MCU. So previously they were in a different spot because they weren't MCU, but now they're multiverse. So now they're allowed in. So I've got a fond attachment to the X-Men movies. Again, we grew up on these. These are the superhero movies that we watched growing up. So like, even though they weren't our mind's eye of the characters that, because again, I was familiar from the X-Men because of the cartoons, so I was straight away comparing the X-Men movie to the cartoons before I even knew much about the comics, and I was always like, what? Where's their uniforms? Why ain't they got their uniforms on? But I still would like them in action figure form. So, Rich, just very simply, the X-Men you put on screen there, the original sort of 4 from the first film, would you like them in their black outfits in the Marvel Legends sort of aesthetic? Thank you very much. Thank you.
That is all I want. Oh, there's no one to bring me my. But yeah, this is all I want. Would be like of all of them, these 4 would be the best. Like Wolverine, Cyclops, Storm, and Jean Grey. Obviously, there's Rogue, there's Professor X, there's Beast, there's Shadowcat, Iceman come later. But I think from X-Men 1, just these 4 would be great. I mean, we've had a million
Hang on,
Wolverines.
Chadwick's jumped in again.
Oh.
I appreciate that,
Chadwick
Chadwick.
Myers
Friday's
donated
reason.
$5. Hasbro said at the last few SDCCs that it's hard catch up on figs when the MCU puts out so much a year. It'd be a great year to go back and catch up.
I agree. Chadwick says Hasbro said at the last few San Diego Comic-Cons that it's hard to catch up on figs when the MCU puts out so much a year. It would be a great year to go back and catch up. I agree, Chadwick, but they make things like development starts like a year prior. So like it's really awkward to just quickly go, oh, okay, there's a gap, let's make something different. Like, it's got to be in the schedule, so it's not as simple as there being a gap, I don't think. So that's why that's why we're even more curious what they may do this year. Continue, Rich.
So yeah, so these 4 would be like that. I mean, they had this look kind of like from all the movies. Storm's wig change in every movie. Got worse somehow, but it still is like the iconic like 4-man lineup from that first film. And I think it's a good way, either as a multi-pack or wave of 4, just to get them in one. I think everyone would like this. I think, the first 2 X-Men movies were pretty good and they paved the way for the MCU. Like the X-Men was the big thing when they came out, for Spider-Man, for a lot of others. Obviously Blade predated them, but this was like the first like big superhero movie, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I genuinely, we've already got a couple of X-Men Marvel Legends as well from like the original films. We've got Mystique, we had the Charles Xavier and Magneto 2-pack where you got both the old and young versions of Charles and Eric, which was nice. I choose to display mine as the older versions because that's what I wanted on the shelf. So if we got these 4 to accompany who we've already got, you've got a nice little display there. Rich, is there a reason that Wolverine looks a bit weird in this photo?
Yeah, because like you try looking for promo pictures before 2000, okay? It's the toy version. That's all that came up. So it's the toy version. That's why it doesn't look too much like Hugh Jackman. But if we zoom out, you can't tell. Zoom back out, Dan. Zoom back out.
Rat face Hugh Jackman. Yeah, that's the hot toy Wolverine. But I'd take them. I genuinely would. If we got them in the Marvel Legends aesthetic, completely pinless, couple of interchangeable heads, etc., I would absolutely make an X-Men sort of a display like with these guys. Of course, we've got other villains like Sabretooth and even Toad's in the first film, isn't it? To stand with Magneto, you can have your own little brotherhood. So I'd take it. I'd take it. And I love the fact that all these films are now in the multiverse, because back I used to say, like, you could probably find videos of me going, no, I don't want anything that's not in the MCU. I collect MCU only. And then now the MCU multiverse exists, and sort of Kevin Feige's came out to say anything produced by anything under the Marvel umbrella is technically multiverse. Then this is all fair game now. Days of Future Past down here. So this is like the sort of, they tried to sort of give it a different timeline, didn't they? They give it it started with a new after X-Men Wolverine Origins, wasn't it? They were planning to do origin movies of other characters, weren't they? That was their plan. It was meant to be X-Men. I think the next one, they were going to do a Magneto one, like X-Men Origins Magneto. Was there any others they were planning to do? I know that was one.
I think it was Wolverine and Magneto were the 2 that they'd advertise.
But because Wolverine flopped pretty hard, they moved away from the origin sort of thing. Remember, that's the first time we've seen live action Deadpool was in that X-Men Origins Wolverine movie with Ryan Reynolds still playing Deadpool, of course. But it's just, they took away the works with the mouse mouth. They took away his red suit. It wasn't Deadpool.
Yeah, same.
So I'd really like I'd take that cast as well in figure form as well. Would you?
Well, Days of Future Past is kind of like Spider-Man No Way Home before that, because it melds all the different X-Men timelines into one big film. You've got like the X-Men in the future, the X-Men of the past, like all uniting with like Wolverine. And then obviously Quicksilver I picked for the I tried to pick 7 figures in each wave, right? But obviously there's more we can talk about. But I picked Quicksilver because obviously it kind of ties in with One Division as well. So it gives us that figure to
Oh,
put
okay.
in with our One Division figures as well.
What's his
type of
stupid
thing.
name? Boner, right? Something Boner?
Ralph Boner.
Ralph Boner, that's it. Yeah, Ralph. You could give him a Ralph Boner interchangeable head or something like that. So yeah, this is basically Rich's a semblance of a fox wave, right? And you've added in 2 figures that are one of them is at least heavily rumored, right? With the Deadpool 2 version of Colossus, a character that, to be fair, since we did get the Deadpool figures a few years ago for Deadpool 2, we got Domino, Cable, Deadpool, and Negasonic Teenage Warhead. People were asking the Marvel team then, oh, where's Colossus? So to be fair, that character has been a character that we've been promised is coming at some point. So it wouldn't be a massive surprise if we got a Marvel Legends Colossus at all. So that one's heavily rumored, and I think it's very likely we'll see it. And I've seen customs of that Juggernaut too.
Yeah, and I'm sure of all the characters here, I'm sure Colossus, apart from like Wolverine was being confirmed, Colossus is going to show up in Deadpool 3. I'm going to guess.
Yeah, I think they have confirmed that.
Yeah,
Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Colossus are returning for the second one. I like that scene in the movie where Deadpool goes to the X Mansion, knocks the door, and it's like, why do I only ever see 2 of yous here? Like it's a big place. No, it's funny. But yeah, I take all of these in figure form, and again, I do. There's some elements of the X-Men universe I really love, and then some of it obviously it missed completely. It sort of dwindled off towards the end, unfortunately. But yeah, let's see what the MCU do with X-Men, shall we? And I guess Deadpool's going to be the first sort of taste of that, even though technically now Miss Marvel's a mutant, right, in the MCU.
And Doctor Strange, you had Professor X as well.
Yeah, Professor X has already been in it. And of course, I think it's fair game to talk spoilers now. If you haven't seen the Marvels, I apologise. I'll give you the Marvel spoiler. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's Beast! It's Fraser himself. What's his name?
Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer, thank you very much. Sideshow Bob, as I like to call him, as Beast. I think he was perfect casting for Beast at the time, and he only appeared in X-Men The Last Stand. I think he wasn't in the other two, because obviously I was a Beast guy from the cartoons, and I was always annoyed with the first couple of movies. I was like, where the fuck is Beast? And then I was very happy to see him appear in The Last Stand, and Kelsey Grammer's great casting. So when I seen him at the end of the Marvels, again, I know it's a heavily CGI cameo, probably a last minute decision to throw in an X-Men to try and generate some buzz to get more people to the cinema. I understand what it was, but as a Beast guy, I wasn't mad at it.
That worked well, didn't it? That worked good. That worked amazing. Everyone went on the Marvels film of the year.
I don't care. As a Beast guy, I'm happy. I'm glad. It means Kelsey Grammer's also said in interviews that he'd love to play Beast again. Do you know, like, so he's not one of those. Do you know some actors get quite snobby and they're like, oh no, I finished playing. I wouldn't return to the Marvel universe. Oh no, I'm finished. Like Chelsea Grammer's just like, yeah, I'll play Beast again. So I like that. I like that a lot. So maybe a Chelsea Grammer. To be fair, we have had a figure of Chelsea Grammer Beast in the
Chelsea. It was Chelsea Grammer.
Kelsey. You know who I'm talking about. It's very, very freaking close. Right. We have had a figure of that, I believe, because we did get a lot of the X-Men figures from The Last Stand.
You've got a figure of Kelsey Grammer? Mini-mates.
Oh, I do indeed. Yeah.
See?
There is a figure though as well, right? A regular sort of 6-inch scale one. At least I believe so.
Did they do? I don't think they did Beast because
they did, mate. They did.
They did a full wave from the first wave, the first movie. Then the second movie only got like 4 figures, and then I don't think Last Stand got any figures. Or did they do one? No, did Hasbro do one in the Legends in the Dark Days?
Yes, mate. That's exactly what I'm showing you.
With Famke Janssen, Phoenix as well, didn't they? They did that.
There we go. Finding an
Blob
image.
Wave. Yeah, Mike Hex. Blob Wave.
There we go. Let me see if it'll be a blurry, grainy picture, but there you go. So X-Beast has already officially been a Marvel Legend. I think the only reason I was very confident I knew that is because it's in the Annihilus wave, and I've got it in my.
Annihilus! Mike Hex was wrong. Fuck you, Mike Hex. Tell me the wrong things.
What did he say?
He said it was the Blob Wave.
No, it was Annihilus. And it's in my watch list on eBay. I was tempted to get one because you've sort of set me on this path of making a Beast cube, and it was one of the Beast characters that I don't have. So I may actually go and pull the trigger on that on payday. But yes, so the Beast. So there are some X3 figures from the dark days of Hasbro, and again, these are Hasbro. This is a Hasbro Marvel Legend. That's an official Hasbro Marvel Legend from X3. That's how long Marvel Legends have existed, people, from fucking X3. People forget how deep the line goes. Anyway, back to there. Okay, let's keep going. What else has Rich got for us? Okay. Okay. Let's stay in the Fox world, shall we? Right. Can I just be honest from the get-go here? Not seen the second Fantastic Four with the Silver Surfer. Not seen Elektra or Daredevil either.
You've not seen Daredevil and Elektra? Who are you, Dan? Who are you?
I know. I don't know why these just escaped me when I was growing up. I don't know how old I was, what I was doing. Was I chasing girls? Was I rapping? I don't know what I was doing, but clearly I was distracted and missed these at the time. So I know that's Ben Affleck as Daredevil. I know that's Gardner, right? Jennifer Gardner, is it?
Jennifer Garner.
Garner, yeah. I'm saying everyone's name's wrong, but it's close enough. I'm getting them close enough where people know what I'm talking about.
What's Mr. Fantastic's name?
Mr. Fantastic. Oh, I'm not even going to attempt it.
Yolanda Griffin.
No chance. No chance. I know Chris Evans. I know Chris Evans. It's because of Chris Evans in this film that Kevin Feige wanted him for Captain America. They thought he had the characteristics, and he was, because of these films, Chris Evans was reluctant to come back to the sort of superhero world, and it was Robbie Downey Jr. who convinced him to come back. So thank you very much, RDJ. Okay, so Rich, you'll be better off chatting about these than me. How worthy of these to be made in Marvel Legends form, and are they likely cameos for Deadpool?
Yeah, I think of all of the figures that could be likely cameos for Deadpool, Miss Elektra there has been heavily rumored. Jennifer Garner has been seen with Ryan Reynolds at some point, even though she hasn't confirmed it, and they've said they try to stop speculation being on it. But I think of all of them, Elektra is probably a good call, so I think she could be in there. And I liked her in the Daredevil movie. She's really good. The Elektra movie is bloody garbage. It's like the Catwoman with Halle Berry type of movie. Yeah. It just gets everything wrong about the character and just becomes this vanity project for the star. So it's not the best. And then I think Jennifer Garner kind of tanked her career a bit as well. It's she didn't really do much since then. 30 going on 30, that's about it really. But yeah, I mean, she married Ben Affleck, so she didn't do that bad out of it, did she? For a little bit. Till he went back to the other Jennifer. Only married the Jenny girls, that's all. And then obviously there was the first live action Kingpin on screen, Michael Clark Duncan, and I like that Daredevil costume as well. I think Ben Affleck looks good in that Daredevil costume.
Yeah, I do. I will watch them. I 100% will watch them. I do want to sort of catch up on the films that I've missed out on. Arvin says, Hollywood Reporter confirmed Elektra for Daredevil 3. Deadpool 3, sorry. Yeah, she was asked about it on the sort of late night news show, talk show sort of things, and she didn't outright say no, and she didn't say yes either. So usually if when they're vague like that, it means there's some truth to it. So I'm pretty sure we will see her. And so is Ben Affleck, by the way. Just think, Ben Affleck's best mate, Matt Damon, has already been in the Deadpool movies. Do you know, I'm sure they're all pally. So I wouldn't be surprised. Unfortunately, the actor that played Kingpin here has passed away since, I think, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Seeing him in the Kingpin role actually makes me very intrigued to see the movie. I know that Foggy Nelson's played by what's his name? Happy. Got money in the bank. Can't remember his name. Jon Favreau. Thank you very much.
There we go.
Yeah, your mind goes blank when you're live on YouTube. It's very weird. Chadwick again with a super chat. Chadwick, you're too kind this evening. Thank you very much, my friend. He says Gardner told Variety or Vanity, whatever it is, magazine about being in Deadpool 3. So yeah, I'm sure she let it slip. So yeah, there we go. Let me zoom back out. What about these? Do you reckon? Obviously, Chris Evans. Pretty pally with the Marvel Universe and Kevin Feige and all the producers, I am sure. Do you reckon they can give him a nudge to reprise himself in the MCU, but as the Human Torch, Johnny Storm?
I mean, it'd be a fun little callback, but I'm guessing like he's one of the ones who said like he's done, haven't he? So I'm guessing like he's like an actor's actor now. So maybe till the
An
money dries up.
actor. Some of the
That's
films
what
he's been in since that
I
is
know.
shit.
No, I know. But that's what they think they are, don't they? They think like
What's that film he was in that where he's that dumb guy and he's dating some sort of spy? Oh, what was that? Ghosted or something like that. Was it Ghosted? No.
Yeah, Ghosted with Anna.
Yeah.
That's on the Razzies, isn't it, for worst film of the year, I
It
think.
was shit. She's hot. She was in James Bond, weren't she? Like I like Chris Evans. I like her. I was like, okay, this looks interesting. And it was just a crap film. It was just Anyway, so yeah, Chris Evans, just get back to the fucking MCU. Stick to what you're good at. Come on now. Great Captain America, undoubtedly. I think the Fantastic Four are likely cameos. Again, figures have been made of these characters. I don't think they were officially Marvel Legends, but I'm sure one of the many sister lines from Toy Biz, etc.
They were like Fantastic Four classics, I think they were. But they definitely did a Jessica Alba figure, and just that thing. He looks so bad now, but at the time it was like, oh, this is like cutting edge, like.
Yeah, there's a scene. I've seen the clips online and stuff. There's a scene where they swap powers as well in one of the movies, isn't it? And you see Johnny Storm all rocked out, and he's like, "Oh, come on!" Like, it's pretty funny. Out of all the characters of Fantastic Four, Rich, if you could have the powers of one of them, who would it be?
Invisible Woman.
Yeah, me too. I think. Me too.
Like, just do what you want then, can no one would ever be able to find out.
You big perv. What are you doing while you're invisible? What's going on there?
Just no, I didn't mean like that.
Joking. Right, okay, so these would make some great figures, I'm sure, and I will fill that gap in my mind. I will go and watch Are they on Disney Plus? They must be now if they're owned by Fox's Disney now. It's one and the same.
Fantastic Four is definitely on Disney Plus. I'm not sure about Daredevil and Elektra. I haven't seen Elektra in a long time. I'm guessing probably.
Galactus in the... It's I've heard about Galactus being in the second movie. Isn't he just like an angry
cloud?
Yeah. Like an angry...
Silver Surfer's in it, though. That's another figure they could do. Silver Surfer, there we go. Yeah. And Doctor Doom, obviously, is like the big villain. So
Yeah. And again, this is just one of the versions of the Fantastic Four. There was a whole nother version.
They should not do anything from that version. They should just bury it under like the yard with all the ET video games. That's where they should bury that.
Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm, I think, and like
Kate O'Mara is Sue Storm.
Who was the actor that played Doom in that one? I think I liked the actor in that, but didn't like him as Doom.
Isn't it Jamie Bell? Billy Elliot is in there or something, isn't he? Anyway, I think he might be Mr. Fantastic, isn't he? I think
the trailers for that film, right, actually look decent, right? But then none of the scenes in the trailer were actually in the movie, because in the trailer there was a scene where like the thing jumped out of a plane and just like crashed into the ground and like made a big and then none of that was actually in the film, like, so they had all these cool looking scenes in the trailer that never made the movie. So yeah, the third Fantastic Four, the second incarnation of live action Fantastic Four, was pretty naff. So
I left the cinema. I watched about half hour and was just like, this is so boring. Like one of the few films I've walked out of, and I sat through Catwoman. There we go. But I walked out of.
His bar's low, people. His bar is low. Yeah. Okay. So there's some figures, and again, cameos. I'm sure in Deadpool, but figures. I definitely would say I'd be happy to buy some of these figures. Like I'd happily buy some of the X-Men figures. I wouldn't be happily buying any of the Fantastic Four figures of this incarnation. Like, we do need a great Fantastic Four in Marvel Legends form, though. Don't get me wrong. Like, we need a Fantastic Four that's all gangly and stuff. And I think they did do a good movie one of him, to be fair. So
I think, though, if we are going to get this Fantastic Four, this lineup, it would have to be like this year or next year, because by the time the MCU movie comes about, they're just going to want to put focus on that. And it's same with the X-Men as well. I think we got a very limited time to get these like classic Fox figures before the Marvel Cinematic Universe like real versions come along. They recast everyone, and then they'll just be pushing that then when they're going forward.
Yeah, I'm curious of the cast there, because I don't see the what's it, Pablo, I can't say his name. I'm saying everyone's name's wrong. But the Mandalorian guy and the Last of Us
Pedro
guy,
Pascal.
him. I don't see him as Mr. Fantastic. Like I don't. Oh,
is that who they cast?
Yeah, like unofficially, but like he's rearranging his schedule right now so he's available for Fantastic Four. Like it's one of those.
Get us standing in for Mandalorian season 5, please.
Yeah.
Not come back into the voice.
Literally, he can do a day in voiceover and be the Mandalorian. It's easy, easy. Anyway, curious what the MCU do with it. I do trust in our Lord and Savior Kevin Feige, of course, but I don't really want figures of these Fantastic Four. Next up, let's go into a world that is very much alive and well. As this year, as we said at the start of the stream, we are getting 3 live-action Sony-verse movies. And none of them are Spider-Man as well. So I think that's like a record because it's Venom, Kraven, and Madam Web all coming out this year. Unless Deadpool gets pushed and Kraven gets pushed again. It's already been pushed the whole year. So anyway, but as you can see, we've already had 2 Venom films. Of course, Venom and then Venom Let There Be Carnage. Where, again, casting for Carnage was all wrong. I like Woody Harrelson, but not as Cletus Cassidy. Like, that is just casting star power in a role. Like, just, I'm not wrong, though, right? Like, Woody Harrelson.
I gotta be honest. I love the 2. They just like the actors they've got for it. It's ridiculous for what it is because it's like just like a cheese. I think that's where you've got to go. It's just a cheesy action movie. As long as you go with it as a cheesy action movie, it's fun. The visuals are good. The Carnage looks good. The Venom looks good. Bloody Michelle Williams is the girlfriend. It's bonkers casting. Absolutely.
She actually
bonkers.
becomes the female Venom in it for a little bit as well, doesn't she?
For a little bit, yeah. In the second one, yeah. And then obviously Naomi Harris is in there as Shriek as well. So.
Yeah. And then Morbius, we've had Morbius, and again, Morbius is another example. This is why Sony does my head in, right? They're just so desperate to suck the teat of the MCU. They were like, right, let's bring in the Vulture, what's his name, Michael Keaton, and put him in this film, and then we'll put a picture of Spider-Man in the background, and like the trailers, and people are trying to do all the breakdown and like what timeline is it, and then the Vultures at the end trying to team up with Morbius, but like none of it makes fucking sense. Like, what are you doing? Kevin Feige must be like going crazy, going, Sony, what are you doing? Phoning up that Amy, what's her name, Amy Pascal, and going, Amy, will you fuck off, please, and leave my MCU alone? Like, am I wrong though?
Yeah.
Is it not?
Amy, he's talking about you. I know. I'm telling him. Shut up, Dan. She's paying me. Like, shut up.
Oh my god.
So yeah, this is the Spider-Man universe. How exciting is this?
I don't like it.
Come back? Yeah, she's fine now. She's fine. Back on it.
Again, you know me. I try and just be the happy-go-lucky guy, but this, like, when the MCU's doing so well and Sony is clearly just trying to take a piece of the pie, but doing it so wrong. Like, apparently they want Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back for Spider-Man 4 as well, because obviously their film made billions of pounds. But like Kevin Feige and that want to strip it back down to the like, just Sony, step the fuck back, right? Step away from the Marvel characters, please. Anyway, you can tell where I feel with this when it comes to action figures. We do technically have a Venom action figure though, and it's pretty good. It is a decent Venom figure, and Tom Hardy was in No Way Home. I like the way, again, Kevin Feige is a genius. He managed to keep Sony happy by sneaking him in there, but then he got zipped back out. But the Venom extract was left. It was genius. I love No Way Home. So they made it work somehow. But do you want figures of these? Any of them?
Yeah, so from the Venom one, I think we've had Venom, but we haven't had Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy. No. And I think with his likeness, that would be great. Carnage and Shriek from Venom 2. Like I love the dynamic between them. I know you said about Woody Harrelson, but it was just so completely like so no one is like so miscasted that it becomes good. It was like so bad it's good. So I've seen that film about 4 times. I really, really enjoy it. It's just one of those films you just put on and just watch. Morbius, I can't defend, right? Morbius is just a bad film. Like it's not funny or cheap. Like I think Tom Hardy and Woody Harrelson and Naomi Harris and Michelle Williams, I think they know the film that they're in.
Yeah.
I think they know they're in like a cheesy action film and they have a bit of fun with it. Jared Leto, I think, thought he was in like an Oscar-worthy vampire film and it didn't play like that. So it became very boring. It's very badly lit, very badly acted. The script is piss poor. Not good at all. Obviously, the film of 2024 then, Madam Web, coming soon.
Oh, dear.
So we've got Madam Web and we've got Julia Carpenter, Spider-Woman. I went, went for the two most iconic looks in it, obviously. Obviously, Madam Web looks nothing like she should be, like an old woman with a thing. In fact, Madam Web looks more like the Julia Carpenter version of Madam Web. But they both, I don't get why they didn't just do a Spider-Woman movie, because I think if anything, of all the like IPs they've got, like do like Spider-Woman, Venom, like the bigger characters you've got. Madam Web is such, like, even for comic book readers, is like D-list at that. So it's interesting to see how this one's going to play out. But to its advantage, there is nothing else coming out like in the cinema lately.
By default, it's going to get
decent. Yeah, it's out on Valentine's Day weekend. So I think people will go and check it out. Like, imagine if this does like take like hundreds of millions of dollars and Hasbro have got to go back and do a wave or something. That would be amazing. No. Buy it for that. Buy it for the lols, right? And then obviously later this year, then you've got Kraven the Hunter. With Kraven with all his abs, and live action Dan Who reviews logo as well. I like this one.
By the way, right, until Jamie said it in the chat, I didn't even notice. But yes, it is a live action Dan Who reviews logo. Very nicely done. I always like the little extra details you put into these graphics. So yeah, that one is very nice.
Oh, Jay said, don't forget our date. Jay, I can't come for our date because I've got something booked because it's Valentine's Day weekend. Apologies. I will not be able to come to Birmingham. I'm sorry, but I'll be there in spirit. Apologies.
We may have missed the trick anyway, Jay, because we don't need to see this film. We don't need to see it.
You do need to see it. Every single member here needs to show a ticket of this film to be allowed into deluxes and Legends of Liquor in the future. If you
really?
haven't got one, yeah, you can't come in. That's part of the rules now. It's part of the rules going forward. I will be checking everyone.
The Madam Web tier is coming soon to Dan Who channel. Kraven as well. Like, again, the trailer, I saw. I don't even know if I watched the trailer. Like, I think I watched maybe a little bit of the trailer, then turned it off because I was so annoyed. But
Russell Crowe's in it, isn't he?
Russell Crowe's in it, right? And isn't there a guy that literally transforms into a rhino? Like, why does Sony keep fucking up Rhino? Like, Rhino was in fucking Andrew Garfield's film as like a mech at the end.
Gear right to the chat, so he's looking forward to seeing it. See, he's a keeper. Come on, Gear right, Madam Web. Come on.
Look, my missus said she was looking forward to see it as well, and I face palmed when she said, "Oh, I seen the trailer. It looked good." I was like, "Oh no, I've not taught you anything in all these years of the Marvelness I've been throwing on you." But yeah, Kraven doesn't look good. Have you seen the trailer for Kraven? Do you have any anticipation for Kraven at all?
I don't think he looks that bad, though. I mean, he looks like his costume is perhaps the most faithful to the comic books. But I don't know. It wasn't what I wasn't expecting a Kraven movie. But then again, Sony doesn't seem to really know what they're doing. It's like, I think if me and you had an idea about a Spider-Man character, we could probably submit it to them and we'd get it made for 2026, I reckon. Just that right in?
Honestly, I reckon Kraven at The Last Hunt could have been adapted into a 6 Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen, is it? So, anyway, we'll find out by the end of the year. We're getting Madam Web, Venom, if it finishes filming, of course, with no delays. But obviously we're getting Madam Web and Kraven. I think those two are pretty confident. And then Venom 3. I don't even know the plot of Venom 3. I don't know where that's going. Like, what characters are being introduced, what's going on. Because Venom, I don't know, like, does Flash Thompson get involved? Does I don't know, like, where do they go?
I wonder if they do like the life symbiotes, bring in like Scream and like all the other ones, like have him split off.
They already slowly like, wasn't Riot the main villain in the first one though? And Scream
Riot
at the
was
start of this one, wasn't she at the start of the second one? Remember where there was some foreigner?
A little bit, but I mean, or like they've got Carnage about. They could do like a Maximum Carnage kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe. Arvin says, imagine if Madam Web and Kraven are actually good. Everyone here will eat their words. Look, I will eat my hat.
Exactly. Imagine if it is Madam Web is like the best film of the year.
Look, I will eat my hat. I've only seen her in
50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey, yeah. The only thing I've seen her in, to be fair. And I'm unfamiliar with the other actresses. But I'll give it a chance. I will go and see it with Amanda. She wants to see it. So there you go. I'll stuff my face with some popcorn. I'll try and turn my brain off from any type of logical Marvel knowledge, because you can't go into these things with Marvel knowledge because you'll be screaming at the screen the whole time. I'll be that annoying guy in the cinema going, wrong, didn't happen in the comics. Or someone will turn around and punch me.
Dakota Johnson went out with a boy that I went to school with for a bit. It's like random story.
Oh, okay.
So like, yeah, this boy I went to school with is like a musician, and he went to like America, and he got like spotted by talent agency, and then became a model, and then now he tours like with like made up bands in America.
Oh, just give him a text and say, look, right, Madam Web, red carpet, Dan Who reviews. Let's go.
Well,
Let's make it
he's
happen.
not with her. He's not with her anymore. She's
Oh,
with
maybe,
someone else now.
maybe
Left her.
maybe he's got connections. Who knows? Right. Okay. So there's potential for figures. To be fair though, Jesse Falcon has said on Facebook groups again. Take this with a pinch of salt. It might not actually be the real Jesse Falcon. I don't know, but Jesse Falcon on your Facebook, who is in charge of the Marvel license with Hasbro, said that they are not making Madam Web figures, so we're not seeing them. All right, so there shouldn't be any secret Madam Web pre-orders popping up, which I know some people were anticipating, but I don't think there will be.
Jada Toy should get on the phone to Sony and be like, "Can we get the Sonyverse contract?"
Jada making great figures, so I'd be curious to see how they looked. But there you go, Sonyverse. But there's a different element of the Sonyverse that we actually like, and that's Into the Spider-Verse. The one thing Sony are doing right is the animated world when it comes to Spider-Man. Now, I've only seen the first 20 minutes of this. I downloaded it on my iPad to watch on a plane or something recently, and it crashed. Like, it just kept glitching. So I couldn't finish watching it. And then I thought to myself, oh, I enjoyed it because it was like they were fighting like some sort of oldie-timey vulture at the start of it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, oh, I want to watch that when I get back. And I just still haven't finished it yet. So I am a bit out the loop on the second movie, but I've seen the first one. I'm a fan. Me and Amanda seen this in the cinema. Amanda wasn't so much of a fan. Amanda has that mentality where if it's animation, it's for kids. Like, I've tried to show her South Park and say, is this for kids? Is this kid? But for some reason, that's a rule she sort of has. So, and she also said that the graphics gave her a headache. So, this wasn't one of those movies I could take to the cinema with Amanda because she wasn't interested. But the second one's highly praised, and I know there's a part 2 coming out as well. Did they leave it on a cliffhanger, Rich? Is it a cliffhanger?
Yeah, part 2 has a cliffhanger, and again, it was supposed to be out this year, but I think they haven't even started recording voice lines for it, so there's no way that's going to come out this year.
Yeah, it makes sense though. If you're doing a 2-part film, wait and see what the sort of crowd reaction was to the first one, so they can make those amendments to make the second one better. Because if they made 2 films and then the first one was shit, and then like, oh, second one's pretty much the fucking same thing, you know. So I think it's wise. But Marvel Legends are doing a great job with these. Not only did we get some in the Stiltman Build-A-Figure wave last year or the year before, probably the year before last, they gave us a 2023 wave of card backs. We got these new card backs for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I didn't get because, again, I hadn't seen the movie yet. The hype wasn't there for me. And now I'm a fool because on the aftermarket, good luck getting Miles Morales, good luck getting what's it, Spider-Punk. Like, these are hard to track down. No doubts, great Marvel Legend representations of these animated Spider-Man characters. So, Rich, is a potential wave 2 of the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or Cross the Spider-Verse potential for Marvel Legends in 2024?
I mean, yeah, there's so many characters. I mean, there is literally hundreds of different Spider-Men and Spider-Women and Spider-Girls and Spider-Boys and Kid Spiders all across it. So I've just picked some ones I think would be like the key to the film, kind of. So obviously Scarlet Spider, who was in the kids line anyway, based on the iconic Ben Reilly look. Like, he's in the film in this like very like animated, like cell shaded kind of style, which looks really good. Then you've got Spider-Man India, who's like one of the key roles on the right-hand side, like with a redesigned look for Spider-Man India from the comic books, but looks really great. Then obviously you've got the evil version of Miles Morales, who is now the Prowler, Miles G. Morales from the Spider-Verse. And then you've got Spider-Bite, who is like this holographic, kind of like as if she's from Reboot, that kind of version of Spider-Woman. So she's kind of a cool character as well. Again, there's a lot more different ones, but I just tried to like pick a mix. And then still from the first movie, like SPDR and
Speeder.
Penny Parker, we still haven't had either one of those.
Yep.
So, I mean, they are like much needed. Like a deluxe pack with these two would be great. And again, a lot of the villains still haven't been made. We've had the Prowler from the first movie and we had Spot from the second movie, but there's still Kingpin, there's still Lady Doctor Octopus from the first movie. And like you said, there's like the characters like that they could do as well.
Yeah, I think I've seen people ask for Scorpion. He's in there, I think. And yeah, I'm sure there's lots of other Spider-Man characters that could cameo or that cameoed, because I've seen the live action sequence, by the way, from the film. I've seen the clip of that, so I've seen that little live action sequence, which I quite liked. I'm curious if he will pop up ever somewhere else down the line, as I do think that's pretty good casting, and a callback to No Way Home, of course, as well. But yeah, do you think it's potential we could get a wave 2 then for the Spider-Verse movie on that same card back?
I think, yeah, and I think maybe go and check Rectangular's newest videos for more information on that. But I think there is heavily hints that there is going to be more Spider-Verse waves. Again, there's part 2 coming out as well, so they could be saving it for the part 2 movie. But with that pushed back, they could easily get characters like this out without spoiling anything.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look now for a decent picture of all the figures. But yeah. Oh, there was the deluxe that I didn't mention. The deluxe Spider-Woman. Was she a big deal in the movie?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
She was very much the Doctor Strange Minotaur guy.
Rintra! She's another Windra. Ah, yeah, okay. That's poor Hasbro not knowing what's going on. And they're like, oh, that figure looks cool, let's make them. And then they're just not in the movie. But here's the full wave. The wave of 7 figures, that is. The only one that's not technically the second film is the Peter P. Parker. But the rest are in the second movie, so... Yeah, again, I didn't get any of these, so I didn't review them on the channel. I don't have them. It's one of the waves this year that I skipped because I hadn't seen the film. And yeah, good luck, Dan, backtracking on these if I do want them.
As well, to give Hasbro praise when they like people shit on them a lot. Like people always say they want like all new sculpting, all new everything. And this line, it's not just like the existing, like the first wave was kind of like existing Marvel Legends backs.
Repainted.
This is very much designed like this skinnier. They like the proportions are all different. So all the bodies, I think everything is new. So that is like great for this line. I thought it was really well done, something different. Again, it doesn't have bath pieces. Is definitely a criticism you can make on it. But this is I really love this line. I got I think everyone apart from Peter. I didn't get the Peter one because I've got the one from the first film with his cap. So I got that. But otherwise, yeah, I think these are pretty good line. And again, the movie was great. So there we go.
Again, we can all only just assume how Hasbro planned these waves, but I think a fair, educated guess is they get a budget for a wave, and then they can choose to either tool new pieces or put a Build-A-Figure in there. And I think on this occasion, they chose to invest in the new tools to make the characters more accurate to how they appeared on the actual source material, which this time happened to be the animation. And like you said, yes, this Miles Morales is a much better, more accurate Miles compared to the previous versions where you had in Marvel Legends form. So I do appreciate that. And again, I wouldn't mind... Again, everyone's got their own preference, but I don't mind them sacrificing the Build-A-Figure if we're seeing that reinvested in newly tooled parts to make the figure as best as it can be and the most accurate it can be. So I do have a little bit sliver of regret of not getting these. They do look very good, especially when you compare that Miles to the Miles I've got, and it's like this one easily looks like a Into the Spider-Verse Miles compared to that one.
You want to keep your eye out on Game though, because some like Spider-Woman and Peter and Spot, they've been showing up on Game in clearance, so you could start with like those ones. So
okay. Well,
and we've never had a Spot figure before. First Spot figure we've ever got in Legends line.
Yeah, I still want a comic Spot though. I take it who's not so gangly, of course, but Spot's. I always like Spot from the animated show, so I will take it. Dan Hayden in the chat. Thank you very much, Dan Hayden. He has dropped a little channel membership token that says, a great wave of figures. Still need that Spider-Punk, though. Yeah, and just like we said, Spider-Punk, pretty elusive. So good luck on the hunt for that one. Right, as we got another slide here, Rich? We do.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this time, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to the MCU here and some projects that we have recently seen in live action. So the most recent project obviously started the year. It was Echo. I think 6 episodes. I've still not watched it yet, but obviously Echo already made her debut during the Hawkeye series, so we're aware of her. What If Season 2, I've not seen any of them yet. I'm a terrible Marvel fan, by the way. I'm well aware throughout this stream. I'm just exposing myself. But yeah, I've not seen any of the What If Season 2, but I know she's a big character. She's part of... She's like in the end episode, like that sort of multiverse... Isn't she like helping Captain America or Captain Carter at the end or something?
So she has her own episode, and then
Yeah.
no, like the season one, it
Yeah.
kind of like brings things together. So she does show up again. Yeah.
The Guardians in the Multiverse type vibe again. Then we've got
Different this
Okay.
time, not quite that, but it is like it's a good story, I think.
Okay, and then we've got the Deadpool in the yellow. Now, again, think what you may about She-Hulk, but it was basically Matt Murdock's officially in the MCU. Like Charlie Cox back in the MCU as Daredevil, and he moved from Hell's Kitchen to what? LA? Is that where She-Hulk lives or whatever it is? And he's wearing his yellow suit, which obviously is a callback to the original Daredevil suit in the comics. So I wouldn't be mad at that in figure form. And then above that, we've got all the Loki characters that we've not had. So that's Renslayer, who's a big part of, in the comics anyway, Renslayer is a big part of the whole Kang storyline. It's the reason Kang's basically chasing love throughout the multiverse. We've got, how do we refer to that Loki? Is that King Loki? Is that Time Lord Loki? How do we refer to that Loki?
End game Loki, kind of end screen Loki. Let's call him
I
that.
think Funko Pop, who make figures of fucking everything, I think they made this Loki, so I'm curious what they officially called him. But then we got Victor Timely, who unfortunately I don't think we're seeing figure form.
Yeah.
And then we have AB, is it his name? What was
OB,
it?
Ouroboros.
Yes, OB. Who was a fun character, to be fair. And again, I know it would be a simple action figure, it's just a guy in overalls, but it's all about that character representation on the shelf, and I would absolutely like to have him. I'd like to have Renslayer as well. She was a big part of season 1 too. So I don't think any of these are likely, though, to be fair, because last time, Loki season 1, we got Sylvie in a wave, we got Loki in a wave, then we got another version of Loki with the Tesseract, and then Morbius. While the show was on, Morbius was put up as a pre-order. They were like very active, like it was very obvious Loki was involved.
Yeah.
This time round, season 2 came and went. Not a single Loki figure went up for pre-order. Nothing was shown. Nothing was talked about. So they've just, in regards to the world of Marvel Legends, just sort of went, let's just skip Loki. We've got enough of them. Are we going to see any of these?
Or it was supposed to be in a wave with figures like last year when the Hawkeye figures came out like nearly a year after the TV show. So unless these are like in the next wave, and obviously whatever comes after it hasn't been revealed yet, so they can't show them. But I think of all of last year's shows, live action on Disney Plus, Loki season 2 seems to be the best received. Like I didn't like Loki season 1, so I'm gonna be like straight up. I have skimmed through Loki season 2. I haven't really bothered with it. But like from review sites like Rotten Tomatoes, stuff like that, it seems to be the best received of last year's live action and MCU TV shows anyway. And again, they're all like good characters. Again, like you said, Victor Timely probably not going to get now, but like Renslayer, like an Endgame looking Loki, OB, and again from Echo. I don't see how we can't have an Echo figure when she's got her own TV show. She was in Hawkeye as well, whichever look you want to use. You could do an Echo figure. Like, what if they seem to be like putting those figures out quite a lot? And Kahori was like a big part of season 2, a really great character, like original to that series as well. And then just because I think one of the things with the Disney Plus series is, like you said, it's men in suits. So that's why I chucked the Daredevil in there, because it's Daredevil. It is iconic. So I guess he's probably not going to wear this uniform when Daredevil comes back for Born Again. So it's just a way to get that figure. And I think it would sell more than another like generic time agent in a suit or something like that. So that's why I put him in here.
I do think people would buy that Daredevil. The live action Daredevils are very sought after, and that one I think is basically just a repaint of the Netflix Daredevil suit. Maybe a little bit variant, but still they could get away with probably just repainting the one they've already got with a bit of yellow. Echo, again, like you said, we've got Kingpin in figure form. We got Yelena Belova, who made a cameo during Hawkeye. So Echo's must be on their radar, and she's got her own show now as well. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that. She should be a fun action figure because she's got like the metal leg, hasn't she? So like depending on how they wanted to show that off, I think she'd be a cool action figure. I do like the character, to be fair. Again, it's not exactly spot on to what happened in the comics, but I still like what she is for the MCU. So I am looking forward to seeing the Echo series, to be fair. I finished Hawkeye the other day, so I'm just waiting for that time now to see that. But I'm watching The Traitors. Amanda won't stop watching The Traitors, Rich. She just won't. She's just addicted. Like,
I haven't seen last night's yet, so don't spoil it. I'm only up to last Fridays. I'm gonna watch the 3 tomorrow.
She'll be sat there as soon as I finish this stream. She'll be sat there in bed, ready to press play on The Traitors. Like, she's just all over.
I was thinking we should go on season 3.
Let's do it. I'm game.
Because people wouldn't realize like that we know each other, and then we could get away with it.
I'm game. And
then I'd be a traitor and vote you out.
It's like Paul all over again. She's voting everyone up. Anyway, we'll talk about Traitors on the after show, because I'm sure if you know. Anyway, that's what Amanda's watching at the minute, but I need to recap and watch some of these. But there we go. So there are some movie figures that would make cool action figures. Of course they would. Of course there's some good potential in there, and I'm sure Deadpool will open the floodgates for a couple of fun cameos. We shall see. But one thing's for sure, Sony are not slowing down when it comes to making Marvel movies. Literally the only Marvel property now that isn't owned by Disney and Marvel Studios is bloody Spider-Man and everything that the Spider-Man world sort of encompasses. So Sony...
Let's write that Hippo movie down. Come on, that's what we'll do this year. We'll write it together. Hippo the movie.
They are not giving it up. Honestly, this is Sony's big moneymaker. They are not giving Spider-Man up. I don't even know, I don't know how their contracts work. I don't think there's an end date. I think as long as they keep producing movies, they can keep the license type thing. I don't think it ever gets reverted back unless they stop making films. The same way like the Hulk reverted back to Disney because Universal didn't distribute anything after a certain amount of time, so it lapses. But as long as Sony keep making Spider-Verse films, they keep the license. So all I'm saying is they're not going anywhere. Madam Web 2 will be... I'm sure there'll be an Easter egg. There'll be a cameo. Something will happen.
Madam Web going to be a trilogy. Should be a trilogy now. Trilogy of Madam Web films. Can't wait.
There'll be an Easter egg scene. Probably with fucking Michael Keaton again. Just going, now I'm here. That's the after credit scene of Madam Web. Just Michael Keaton.
Not Emma Stone. Emma Roberts is supposed to be cast in it as an unnamed character. So I wonder, will she end up being like Jessica Drew? That's what I think.
What about?
Because it's weird. She's like the because it's like Spider Women. I just think Jessica Drew is like that. When you think of Spider Woman, I think most people go to Jessica Drew. So I think Emma Roberts might be playing Jessica Drew in there. Yeah, you got it right this week.
Just keep her there, just in case you mentioned Jessica Drew. No, because they had on the slate Silver Sable and Black Cat movie, didn't they? And they were so. I'm just saying, if someone at Sony's desperate to get that film made, maybe they're throwing a little cameo or something at the end.
Black Cat, to be fair, is one you could see them doing, a heist film with a woman in the cat suit, a cheesy that would work. I think that would work better than whatever Madam Web is going to be. But I'm excited for Madam Web. Can't wait to see it.
Madam Web figures will be a goat wave, says Omar. Omar, it's not happening.
Omar, you're full of shit, man. Full of shit. Thank you for supporting me. Come on, Madam Web. Come on.
Right, so we've got about 15 minutes of this stream before we go into the after show. So I thought for the last little part of the stream, it'll be fun to just dive deep into the world of Marvel movies and think, okay, what has Deadpool potential? Because again, that's what spurred on this conversation. Deadpool potential for cameos, and also what would make good action figures. So I've literally just went to Wikipedia. You can do this yourself at home. Live action movies from Marvel, okay? And the very first one, 1986, older than me. It is Howard the Duck. That was co-produced by Lucasfilm, of course. So let's have a look at this. Have you seen live action Howard the Duck?
Yeah, I saw it when I was younger.
What is it like? It looks terrifying.
I'm sure there's naked duck women in it. That's what I remember. There's definitely naked women in it, and Leah Thompson's in it from Adventures in Babysitting. She's Howard's girlfriendy type thing. But she's like human. She's human in it.
It's like a live action DuckTales. It's like Huey, Dewey, or Louie have come to life and started a business, and he's wearing a tie or something. Like, it looks very, very creepy. Yeah, I saw Howard the Duck when I was really little. Came out a few years after I was born. Movie is creepy. Yeah, Clouders grew up thinking it's a horror film. Mike Heck says a duck sex scene wouldn't work so well now. Okay, so there is duck sex in there. Jay's Toy Collection says it's filthy but crap. Dan Hayden says a duck woman in the bath. Lady Max says Howard the Duck is the same age as me. Cloud says whoever made the film really wanted to express their furry fetish. So okay, so it's clear that Howard the Duck has some questionable scenes in it, which to be honest makes me want to see it a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie. Someone should have told me this before. Okay, but could you see potential for a Howard the Duck cameo in Deadpool? Is that the type of thing Ryan Reynolds would throw in a scene? Do you think Howard the Duck in a bath or something like that?
You could do, but your only problem with Howard the Duck is because he's been like introduced into the MCU proper. Would they bother?
It's a multiversal version though, isn't it? It's just stupid. Right, let's go Blade 1998. Now this is where it all started for me. Blade, Wesley Snipes. I was a big fan of Wesley Snipes anyway. Demolition Man came out around about the same time, if I remember correctly. And I always remember the scene because obviously when this came out, I was 10 years old. I was not old enough to go nightclubs yet. And like the film started off in like this nightclub. The sprinklers come on, it's just blurred, and I was like, "Fucking hell, this is what we're getting ourselves in for." Like honestly, it's a really strong opening to the movie. It still holds up to this day, like Rich was saying. And Wesley Snipes looks gangster as Blade. Like no one can take that away from him. It was good casting for the time, that 90s sort of vibe. There has been action figures made of him. There has been a Marvel Legend of this Wesley Snipes Blade as well. But I'd be lying to you if I'd said I wouldn't buy a newly released live action Blade by Wesley Snipes. Now I know Marvel are planning to do one and they keep delaying it, but Wesley Snipes again is going to be my mind's eye of live action Blade for a long time. Would you also be interested in just say Marvel Legends released a newly tooled, completely pinless Wesley Snipes likeness Blade? You're buying it, right?
100%. I would be all over that. And you just need to do him. You don't need to really do anyone else. Just Blade, and then that would represent that film on your shelf.
The villains are sort of just nobodies anyway. They're not really big Marvel characters or anything like that. Whistler's in it, of course, as well. Again, I'd buy a Whistler and Blade 2-pack, but I don't think Whistler would be a big seller, to be fair. Wesley Snipes is the main event here. I'm sure this would be very appreciated amongst the community. Again, this predates X-Men. If this didn't do so well, they may not have greenlit X-Men. Who knows? But this started it all off. And of course, it had a trilogy. So, Ryan Reynolds is in the third one. Again, what character is he playing in that?
Hannibal King.
There you go, yeah. So, again, the Marvel connections are very loose in the trilogy. But it's still 1 and 2 is okay, if I remember correctly. But the third one gets a little bit weird. Wesley Snipes in the third one just phones it in. He's just not... He's not as invested as the other two. But, yeah.
Isn't the girl with a husky voice from American Pie? She's like the blind girl in it as well, isn't she?
I think so. Yes. You're right. Yes, because she's like an oracle-y type woman. Yeah. You're right.
And Justin Timberlake's wife is in it as well, isn't she? She's like the other Night Stalker with Hannibal King. Jessica.
Yeah, so they're a little pair, ain't they? The little twosome.
Yeah.
They're worth watch. If you've not seen them, people, they're absolutely worth a watch. Fun. I grew up in the 90s, so I love a stupid 90s action film. But Blade is
Stephen Dorff is the big bad in the first film, isn't it?
Yeah, there you go.
Deacon Frost.
Here you go. There's the cast. Right, okay, so there's Blade. So we've talked about X-Men already. Talked about Blade. Blade again, as we said.
Jessica Biel. Thank you, Mavi.
Hulk. There has been a couple of Hulk films. But do we need the Eric Bana Hulk? This is the Eric Bana one, I think, if I remember correctly. I don't think that's too obscure. I'm trying. Let's find some obscure stuff. What about Nicolas Cage, who's a big Marvel fan, by the way? He spends a lot of money on Marvel comics and stuff. Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider, cameos in Deadpool. Potential? I think so.
Yeah, I would buy a Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider. That would be amazing.
Look, as long as they don't put it as a HasLab, I think the community would be interested for sure.
I think you've gone too mainstream for this. You should scroll down, Dan. Scroll down to the 90s TV movies. That's where the gold is. That's where the gold is.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, basically anything after that anyway is all MCU, Sony, Fox. It's what we know, all right? So again, this is 2024. Only Marvel Studios film in 2024 is Deadpool 3. Chadwick again with a super chat. I appreciate you this evening, Chadwick.
Chadwick Myers donated $10.
Justice for Rintra.
Hashtag Justice for Rintra. He was a much bigger part of the film, but when it didn't test well with audiences, more than half the film was reshot in the 6 months leading up to release. Disney's fault, not Hasbro.
Yeah, I agree, by the way. I always sympathise with Hasbro and those type of things, because it's not like Hasbro hand-picked Rintra. They're fed him. They're basically told, here's a big character, make a toy of him, and then they go and change it, but it's too late to change it. So yeah, justice for Rintra. He was a much bigger part of the film, but when he didn't test well with audiences, more than half the film was reshot in 6 months leading up to the Disney's release. Disney's fault, not Hasbro's. So yeah, for anyone thinking, who the hell is Rintra?
What was Rintra's role? I'd love to know. He was in half the movie. What was he doing?
So would I. But for the people that don't know who Rintra is, I'll just remind you real quick. He was the green sort of bull-like thing in the Sanctum Sanctorum, right? Or wherever it is, Shangri-La, wherever they are. Can't remember what it's called, but he's the green bull that's in like 2 little scenes. Blink and you miss. But he turned out to be a builder figure. So we have a Marvel legend of him, but not of many, many other characters. Right, let's go down. Right, so we've got short films here. Short films. We don't want short films. Let's keep going past that. Let's get past the imprints.
There you go.
Okay, so this is direct. So this is direct to video. Remember videos? Remember VHSs, people, back in the day? This is direct to video. So this Spider-Man, I think, was rumored for a while. I think this is one that like Todd really wanted. Shout out Rectangular, like one of the first live action Spider-Man. But it never came to be. There was
when they did the Beyond the Amazing line,
yes.
I think this was rumour, but then it turned out to be Japanese Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Doctor Strange had a pilot. Can you believe it, people? Doctor Strange had a pilot. Again, it's these wacky things that I think may appear in Deadpool. Just the nonsense. One of my favourite, I've talked about it with Rich before we went live. It's bobsleighing Captain America, if I can find him. Here he is. Bob, the captain of the bobsleigh team, Captain America himself. He's a bobslayer, right? How is he not? There he is. Look at that. That is the type of cameo I want to see in Deadpool 2. He's like, what the hell? This is a film, people. I'm not making this up. This is a film that someone made. Let's go back to the list. Right. There were 2 of them. They made bloody 2 of them. Bobsleigh Captain America Returns. There was obviously...
I think... Yeah, Lou Ferrigno Hulk would be like an iconic version of that. That would be one you could do, and I think a lot of people would like that as well.
A much more recognisable cameo, for sure, absolutely, yeah. And he still seems game as well. Like he's still a big guy, even though he's a little bit older, he's still a bit of a tank. I reckon he'd be game to get him painted up green again for Ryan Reynolds. Of course, he fucking would.
You need that flocked wig as well, don't you? I need a flocked wig. That's what I want. Oh, give me a flocked wig.
There you go. I think Stan Lee cameoed in that movie as well, The Trial of Incredible Hulk. I think he's on the jury or something like that. The Punisher. That's not none of the movies. That's none of the ones that went to the cinema anyway.
That's Dolph Lundgren though. That isn't it? Dolph Lundgren. That would be worthy just to get a Dolph figure in the MCU.
Yeah. More Captain Americas. They made a few of them. They made a Fantastic Four as well. That's a bit weird. Again, that was 1994, you know. That's not even that was 4 years before they made Blade. They attempted to make a Fantastic Four. You can find unreleased, available bootleg recordings on YouTube. Now, this is Rich's love.
Oh, look at them. Look at my favourites, my people. My Generation X TV movie.
So, were you reading Generation X at the time this film came out? So
yeah, I read Generation X. I think I said before, it was like the first X-Men series I read from issue 1 through to when it ended with issue 75.
So did this film, were you happy with this film, or were you annoyed with this film? Were you happy it existed or what?
So I love this film. So in the US, this was a pilot on Fox, and over here in the UK, this was like it went to video shops like a rental. That's where you could get it, and I rented this like every week for nearly a year. I did my mother's wedding, like so much. So when they when they sold off the video, my mother bought me the video, so she wouldn't have to rent it anymore. But then it showed up then like a couple of years later on Channel 5 as like like the Saturday night movie.
Yeah, yeah.
It played like a lot of times. But yeah, but I like the of all of them, the White Queen, Finola Hughes with a terrible wig, that would be just an iconic figure to get. The only one of these who wears the Generation X uniform is Buff in the middle. So Buff is a character made for TV because they couldn't do Husk with her like ripping skin off, so they substituted with Buff, who is literally she takes off that top and she's just like this really muscly woman. That's her powers.
Buff, I get it.
Buff, yeah.
Yeah.
And the guy below is Refrax, who's like got Cyclops' power, like he put out of one eye only.
He
like,
looks like a typical 90s movie hacker. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 90 movies where we had hackers. He just looked like one of them, a bit quirky.
It was very like stereotypical, and apart from Emma, Skin, and Jubilee, none of the other characters really got much development. But again, it was a pilot supposed to go to series and never did. But Finola Hughes, like, who is like for Americans, is an icon of American soap operas. She is like she hams it up like fucking this. She is like she is still the best Emma Frost that has been on TV screen. So of all of them, if Ryan Reynolds was to phone one of these up, I hope he's phoned Finola up, got her new wig back, and got her back going.
Are any of them Canadian? Because if they are, you're in a higher chance bracket. Man Thing was made in 2005. Hang
on, Dan. We've missed the iconic version of all. We've missed Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Let's do this properly. Let me get a decent picture of this up because it needs to be seen. Right, here it is. There he is. This is likely. This has to be on Ryan Reynolds' mind.
David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury. Come on.
This is something. This isn't even a parody, people. This isn't Photoshop. This is something that actually was made. They made a pilot coming off the back of like Knight Rider and stuff like that. He was hot at the moment. They made a Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. pilot that obviously never got picked up anywhere. But David Hasselhoff at a time was Nick Fury. And this is the type of multiversal cameo I can see Ryan Reynolds bumping into as he travels across the multiverse. Like, this is like perfect fodder for that.
And it's got a load of Marvel lore in it. Because like Lisa Rinna from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she plays Contessa in it. If you can see it on the end of that one.
Yeah, let me get
there you go. It's Lisa Rinna on the left. So you've got a lot of like the different agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. all show up as well. So this is like proper like sci-fi movie of the week type of territory with this.
Yeah, Deadpool could bump into these. That would be good. That would be good. This is, and again, I reckon the Hoff would be up for something like Lou Ferrigno. I think he would be up for something. He's still about. He's still game. I'm sure
he did that Guardians of the Galaxy 2 music video, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. This has got to be up there. I hope. Again, I could be way off. By the way, there could be no cameos in Deadpool. It could be just him and Wolverine fight. But we know there's like Sabretooth in it from the war. Like we know, like there's got to be. There's so much stuff is filmed behind the scenes. We don't know anything. But yeah, I reckon this is high potential. And if it's not, someone needs to let him know and get him to film a quick cameo because it wouldn't take long, I'm sure. But this is the type of stuff I'd like to see Deadpool bumping into. If you're gonna jump around the multiverse, then let's get wild. Let's get stupid with it. And this is high potential. So there you go. David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury. Look at that. Look how gangster he is. It's all about black leather with Blade in the 90s, the X-Men in 99 to 2000. Everyone loved the black leather back then. Don't know why. Okay. Rich.
Easy to clean off, Dan.
Clearly, yes, clearly.
There we go.
Why I wear black? This is covered in mess. So bobbly. Right, Rich, I appreciate you like always. Always fun to chat some absolute nonsense films. I've clearly got some homework to do. I'm going to write a list of these films. I need to watch that Generation X film for you because I've not seen it. That's on YouTube though, isn't it? So
yeah, it's really long though. I think it's like 2.5 hours. But yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
Compulsive Collector, thank you very much. He said, greetings from Disney World, popping in and out while I stop to cool off. Hope you guys are having a great week. Wow, you're having a better week than us, my friend, because you're at fucking Disneyland. Have fun. We are both at home on a Thursday night talking about David Hasselhoff. So no, you enjoy yourself at Disneyland. We're doing good, my friend. I'm sure we will see you soon when you're back off your hollybobs. Tyler also says hello. Hello, Tyler, and goodbye, because we are about to get out of here. Rich, I will go and watch some of these films, I promise, but you tell the good people where they can find you online.
You can find me in the Madam Wed fan club. There's only one member at the minute, but I'm there. I'm by myself writing my letters, so come join me if you want. And I will see you back here next week. And you can find me at Displayed Once on Instagram, where I'm not really posting much at the minute, but maybe I'll get back round to it.
Look, I haven't even done a Marvel Legend video on the channel yet. My top 10's still not done. It'll be up tomorrow.
I do like though that you've done one video this month and you've got more subscribers this month than you have in like months where you actually do stuff.
Let's check where we are. Hang on, just to get it before we leave, before Rich gets out of here. Did I make 5,000, 25,000? Yes! Come on. Whoever you left earlier, fuck you. I made it back again. There we go. 25,000. Well, I'm slowly. So I'm a small fish in the ocean of YouTube, right? I talk about Marvel Legends, but to be fair, after the success of this interview, nearly 10K, I might drop my allegiance. I'm not going to lie. Look,
do you reckon we can get a Madam Web press interview? Should we try?
No, let's just leave. Rich, you need to go. Rich, you need to leave. Right, I'm going to head off to the after show. So if you want to join me for the after show right now, then please send me an Instagram message and I will send you the link. But one last time, this Sunday is Legends and Liquor. So Sunday, the 28th of October. October? What did I say October? January. 28th of January. This week, this Sunday. Hit me up, please, on Instagram. If you're watching on the replay, message me as soon as you see this, all right? The groups fill up pretty quick these days. I appreciate you all for it, but that'll be this Sunday. Rich, just give them a wave. I'll go to my end screen. I'll see you on the after show. Become a channel member at the Dan Who Deluxe tier, and you'll be able to join us. You'll be able to come on the stream right now and tell me what Marvel characters from the vast multiverse you would like to see. All right, so if you would like to come on the stream right now, head over to the after show, right? The link's in the description, or it should redirect you, right? But got to be a channel member. Click one of these videos if not, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.